We're now going to look at the muscles of the lower leg, and beginning with the posterior compartment of the lower leg, which includes the muscles that will plantar flex the foot. These are the muscles that will lift the heel off the ground and put you up on your tippy toes. The muscles are listed here. We'll come back to this list. Here is a view of the posterior angle of the lower leg, and we can see the very obvious calf muscle here, the gastrocnemius, which has two heads, a medial and a lateral head. They come together to form the calcaneal tendon, otherwise known as the Achilles tendon. There is another muscle, it's not labeled right here, just below the gastrocnemius. We can see it from the side view here. Here's the gastrocnemius. This muscle called the soleus muscle. And actually these two muscles together come down and form the Achilles tendon. We're then going to look at these muscles just below. If we remove the soleus and the gastrocnemius, we will see these three muscles: the flexor digitorum longus, the flexor hallucis longus, which flexes the big toe, puts you up on your tippy toes on the big toe, and finally the tibialis posterior, which is also a plantar flexor. If we look at the anatomical view here, we can now see the gastrocnemius muscle here. And just below that, and we can see, if we scroll down a little bit here as well, we can see the Achilles tendon, or calcaneal tendon, which is formed by the tendons of both the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscle just underneath. So if we hide the gastrocnemius muscle, we can now see the soleus, which would sit right below there. Okay, if we remove the soleus muscle now, we will see these deeper muscles on the back, zoom in a little bit there, of the calf. And we have first right down the back of the fibula here, here's the fibula bone, we have the flexor hallucis longus, or we can just call it the flexor hallucis. And whoops, come off of that one there. And this one will come around to the bottom, and you can see it coming all the way to the big toe. And that will flex or plantar flex the toe, so you're standing up on your big toe. It's a pretty powerful muscle, even though it's just for one toe, because when you take a step or jump or leap off the ground, the last thing touching the ground is that big toe, and that can carry your entire body weight. Okay, so there is the flexor hallucis. We look just medial to that, and we see the tibialis posterior. This is right on the back of the tibia. This will come around to the medial malleolus to the bottom of the foot, and this will plantar flex the ankle. This does not control the toes, just the ankle. Again, pulling us up onto our toes. Tibialis posterior. And then finally, just medial to that, we have the muscle that controls the rest of the toes. You can see underneath here the tendons going to all the toes. That is called the flexor digitorum longus. Flexor digitorum longus, and that is a plantar flexor of both the ankle and the toes. Okay, next we're going to look at the muscles of the posterior lower leg. These are going to be the muscles that be in the posterior compartment of the lower leg, and these are going to plantar flex the foot, which is kind of the position that you see it in here, standing on the tippy toes. Okay, these will pull up the heel of the foot off the ground into plantar flexion, or just true flexion of the ankle. Okay, so we see these two muscles in the back. This looks like two muscles, but it's one. These are the two bellies, the medial and lateral bellies of the gastrocnemius muscle, gastrocnemius, sometimes you pronounce it that way. And they come and form this muscle forms the Achilles tendon, which attaches to the calcaneus bone. There is another muscle right underneath it. A little hard to see, but it's this muscle right here. This is called the soleus muscle. So the gastrocnemius and the soleus together form the calcaneal or Achilles tendon. If we lift the gastrocnemius off and pull it out, you can see on the other side, gastrocnemius back here and soleus on the ventral surface right there, together forming the Achilles tendon. Gastrocnemius, soleus. Deep to those muscles on the posterior aspect of the lower leg, you can see right down the back of the fibula right here, we have a large muscle that comes down underneath, and it's going to go all the way to the big toe actually. So this muscle is called the flexor Remember, the flexors are in the back of the leg as opposed to the arm where they're in the front. The flexor hallucis longus. Flexor hallucis longus. It's got number 43 right on it there. If that can focus. Maybe not. There it is. Okay. Then we see a muscle just medial to that, coming down here along the back of the tibia, actually. And this is going to come down. And this will, if you followed it, it goes underneath. It's going to go under the toes. It's going to flex all the toes. We call this the flexor digitorum. Flexor digitorum of the leg, flexing all the rest of the toes. This one just flexes the big toe, flexor hallucis. And then just in between them, you have this one hiding in there, number 40. And this is called the tibialis posterior. Tibialis posterior is going to be a flexor of the ankle as well. So these three will flex the ankle and the toes. Flexor hallucis, flexor digitorum, tibialis posterior. Three flexors of the ankle and